Today we're looking at Psalm 143, and David once again is crying out to the Lord, as he often does. He asks the Lord in verse 1 to hear his prayer, give ear to his supplication, answer me in your faithfulness and your righteousness. So he is crying out to the Lord, and we're just going to kind of work our way through this particular psalm. There's a lot here, kind of layer upon layer of his requests and so forth. In verse 2, he asks the Lord not to judge him, knowing that in God's sight no one is righteous. So the Lord always has a case against us if he wants to bring it. And David's concerned about that because he knows he's not a righteous man in a practical sense. He is a sinner like you and I. And so he asks the Lord not to judge him. But he is under oppression by the enemy, verse 3, for the enemy has persecuted my soul. He has crushed my life to the ground. He has made me to dwell in dark places like those who have long been dead. So this enemy has really hurt him. He's crushed, he says, to the ground. He's like in a dark place, and he doesn't know how to get out of there. In verse 4, therefore my spirit is overwhelmed within me, and my heart is appalled within me. So he's looking inward here, and he speaks of his spirit, he speaks of his soul, he speaks of his heart, and all these things are hurting. He's in a terribly difficult spot in his life. So then he moves on to verse 5 and 6, and he says, I remember the days of old. I meditate on all your doings. I muse on the works of your hands. I stretch out my hands to you. My soul longs for you as in a parched land. So one of the things he's going to do to pull himself out of this overwhelming dark place is to remember the things the Lord has done in the past. The days of old, the doings. He wants to meditate on it, not just casually glance at the past and what God has done to deliver him and help him and to be gracious to him. He wants to meditate upon that because as he does, in verse 6, he finds himself thirsting more and more for God. My soul longs for you as in a parched land. That reminds us of Psalm 42, verses 1 to 2, where he talks about the deer panting for the water brook, thirsting for God. Other Psalms talk about a similar thing. So David has this hunger, this thirst for God that is not quenched by anything in this life. Only the Lord himself can bring satisfaction. So he turns to the Lord in this situation, and he calls out, he remembers what the Lord has done, he meditates on those past events, and he longs for God himself. Then he says in verse 7, answer me quickly, O Lord, for my spirit fails. So even in the midst of this meditation, he is not doing real well. Do not hide your face from me, or I will become like those who go down to the pit. Let me hear your loving kindness in the morning, for I trust in you. Now remember, in Psalm 141, and this was a psalm that he called an evening prayer. Now in this one, he now is looking for God's loving kindness in the morning. So I think our picture is that at all times of day or night, we can call out to the Lord and should. At nighttime, just before we go to bed, we can call out to the Lord. But I think especially when we get up in the morning, how refreshing to get up in the morning and to know that his loving kindness is with us, that his mercy, his kindness, his love, his faithfulness is with us as we go about our day. A lot of us don't get up all that excited about a new day. There's things in front of us we're dreading, things that we're simply not excited about, and there could be troubles like David faces here. But he knows God's loving kindness is with him, and that gives him strength. So he said, let me hear your loving kindness in the morning. Verse 8, for I trust in you. Teach me the way in which I should walk, for to you I lift up my soul. Deliver me, O Lord, from my enemies. I take refuge in you. I don't know if you've been watching as you go through the Psalms how often he talks about the Lord being his refuge. He is the place he goes to, the one he goes to in time of need, the one solace he has during these times. He's the refuge. And he says, teach me to do your will, for you are my God. Let your good spirit lead me on level ground. For the sake of your name, O Lord, revive me. In your righteousness, bring forth my soul out of trouble. One thing I want to highlight here is in verse 3, he says his soul was in a dark place. And now in verse 10, he says, I want your spirit to lead me to a level ground. So in this dark place, he's in despair, he's in trouble, but now he wants the Lord to bring him out of that pit of despair into a level place where he can walk with the Lord. So this prayer that it seems to be highlighted in the morning is a prayer for him to be able to walk, even in the midst of his struggles and the troubles and the oppressions that are his, to walk on a level ground with the Lord's loving kindness and mercy.